For this month's topic, I'd like to share with you an excellent presentation by Drive Through Therapy on relapse prevention. I couldn't have put it any better than this gentleman, so at this point, I will let him take it from here. Thank you.
Welcome to Drive Through Therapy. This video is on the triggers that can lead to alcohol and drug relapse. There are two types of triggers, one being internal. Examples would be using the acronym HALT, meaning hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. The other one is external triggers, would be money, peer pressure, going to high-risk places, to name a few. There are many videos and articles on internal and external triggers. I am going to just discuss what I feel are the top 16 triggers that lead to relapse. The first one being the most problematic one, which is refusing help. You can't force anyone to get help if they don't want it. Denial is the most common and initial reaction. It is when a person refuses to accept that he or she has a problem with alcohol and drugs, or both. The person may be so entrenched in their substance abuse habit that they deny its existence despite the facts. The next trigger is expecting too much of others. This form of thinking is self-defeating and often leads to major disappointment. Dishonesty and lying leads to avoiding and manipulating family, friends, and prevents them from making any significant lifestyle changes, thus often resulting in relapse. Abusing other substances is when a person thinks they can use another substance that they weren't addicted to. An example would be heroin addict using alcohol, or alcohol addicted person going back to smoking marijuana or putting themselves on what I call marijuana maintenance program. Followed by peer pressure is when a person finds themselves in situations where friends and family pressure them to have just one drink. Self-pity occurs when they stop feeling like a victim, refusing to acknowledge that they have choices, that they are responsible for their own life and the quality of it. Last of this first series is emotional distress. It is a common in early recovery that their feelings are generally all over the place. This is when a person has to identify, verbalize them with someone they can trust. Okay, moving on to the next phase of triggers. Part 2 of the triggers, taking recovery for granted, is when someone starts to forget how bad they felt and they start to wonder if they've overreacted to their situation. This often leads into the next trigger, which is reminiscing about using. This is when a person spends time thinking obsessively about how it felt to be high, or telling war stories to friends about past drug or alcohol use. This is an indication that relapse is imminent. Impatience is when things are not happening fast enough for them and others are not doing what they want them to do. Glamorizing past usage by thinking of all that they are missing. Their using friends, the lifestyle, things they did in their using days. Going to high-risk places such as bars, stopping at liquor stores to buy cigarettes or lottery tickets, visiting or driving by neighborhoods where they bought drugs, followed by easily angered. In most cases, results from covering up feelings of fear, embarrassment, or shame. Asking for help is a very humiliating experience for many. Romancing about using is a trigger that your memory can do strange things. Events from the past can be remembered differently from how they really were. This habit of the mind to change things can be very dangerous. Seeking old acquaintances is when people can justify visiting old friends because they miss them, and swearing that they just want to visit and not start reusing again. The old AA saying is visiting the barber shop often, soon you will get a haircut. The final trigger, in my opinion, is the top trigger. It is boredom. It is a relapse trigger that often gets used as an excuse to return to alcohol and drugs. If people do not feel like their life in recovery is meaningful and fun, they begin to miss the bad old days. This usually occurs in the early weeks of sobriety when people are still trying to find their way. Addictions use up a lot of time, so once people enter recovery, they find that they have a lot of spare time on their hands. That concludes the triggers. Look for my video on the importance of having hobbies in recovery, which addresses boredom. And in closing, remember, triggers equal thoughts equals cravings, thus relapse occurs. Thank you for watching, and please like my video.
And even though he did not spend much time on the acronym HALT, H-A-L-T, which stands for the kinds of things that can lead to relapse, such as hunger for H, anger for A, lonely for L, and tired for T, HALT. Very important acronym, very simple to remember. And so, but again, hopefully you agree with me that this was an excellent video by Drive Through Therapy. See you later. Thank you. Bye.